I was slicing onions when the knock came. Firm, official, unavoidable. I opened the door to a uniformed officer, rain dripping off his cap. His voice was calm but grave. "Sir, your wife was in a fatal car accident an hour ago." My hand froze, knife still in mid-air. "No," I said, steady but certain. "You're mistaken. She's upstairs, sleeping." His eyes flickered with confusion. For a moment, silence hung like a noose. Then he followed me inside, step by step, up the stairs, toward our bedroom. I pushed the door open. She lay there, peaceful, as though the world hadn't already pronounced her dead. That's when the officer's hand went to his holster. "Sir," he said, voice tight, "step away from her. That isn't the beginning." I met Anna at a conference 7 years ago. She wore a red dress that made the air around her bend. She laughed at my clumsy joke, touched my arm lightly, and for the first time in years, I felt chosen. We built a life quickly: marriage, a house, late-night dinners, the smell of her perfume woven into the furniture. I trusted her with everything: my savings, my secrets, my heart. She was the promise of forever. And then, forever broke. The discovery. It started with small things: late texts she silenced too quickly, perfume lingering when she swore she'd been at the gym, the way she looked at her phone with a hunger I hadn't seen directed at me in months. I didn't accuse, I watched. The truth revealed itself in fragments: a hotel receipt buried in the trash, a second phone in her car's glove box, messages full of words she never used with me, words of surrender, of fire, of love. The man's name was Daniel, her coworker. I felt the floor give way under me. But I didn't rage. Rage is sloppy. Rage leaves evidence. Instead, I smiled at her over dinner, kissed her forehead before bed, whispered, "I love you," while cataloging every detail of her betrayal. The shift. The night I decided to act, she was in the shower. Steam filled the bathroom, her humming blurred by the spray. I sat on the edge of the bed and thought, if you could fake love for this long, Anna, then so can I. I began with the bank accounts. Quiet withdrawals, small enough not to raise alarms, rerouted into a private fund. Next, the paperwork. Power of attorney revoked, will adjusted, insurance policies checked. Then came Daniel. I followed him once, saw him kiss her in a cafe corner, the same kiss she once reserved for me. That was enough. I didn't need to hit him, I just needed to understand what she risked everything for. And the answer was simple: nothing special. That was my advantage. The plan. Anna believed she was clever. Late-night calls, whispered lies about deadlines, weekend work trips. She thought she controlled the board, but I had already flipped it. I recorded everything: screenshots, audio clips, photographs. Enough to turn her career into ashes, enough to strip Daniel of his job, his family, his reputation. And then, I prepared something more personal, something she would never see coming: execution. The night of the accident, Anna kissed my cheek before leaving. She said she was meeting a client. I smiled, wished her luck, and slipped a small tracker into her purse. She wasn't meeting a client. She was meeting Daniel. They drove to a remote motel on the outskirts of town. The accident wasn't random. I'd studied the road for weeks: the sharp bend by the cliff, the way rain turned it slick, a small cut in Daniel's brake line, precise enough to fail under stress, but not immediate. A push of circumstance, fate with a guiding hand. When their car went over, Daniel died instantly. Anna survived, barely. Crawled from the wreckage, broken but breathing. By the time help arrived, she was unconscious. To the world, she was a widow of an affair, carrying the weight of guilt and loss. To me, she was something else entirely: the climax. Which brings us back to the officer in my bedroom. He thought she was dead. The hospital had misfiled records. Daniel's body was misidentified as hers. Fate offering me one final gift. Now she lay in our bed, recovering, wrapped in bandages. Her breath was shallow, her face a map of bruises. The officer's gun stayed trained on her. "Sir, that isn't your wife." But I knew better. She was both my wife and not. The woman I loved had died months ago, replaced by this stranger who wore her face, her voice, her lies. I stepped back, hands raised, expression calm. "You're right," I whispered. "That isn't my wife." Her eyes fluttered open. For the first time, fear replaced the mask she'd worn so well. She tried to speak, but her jaw was wired shut, the truth trapped behind broken teeth. The officer couldn't see the flicker in my eyes, but she could, and she understood. Resolution. She lives, technically, but her life is ashes. Daniel is gone. Her body is broken, her career finished, her secrets laid bare. Every night, I hear her shallow breathing from across the room.